Shortly before midnight on December 2nd, 2016, fire broke out during a rave party in a converted warehouse in Oakland, California, resulting in the death of about 36 people. Forensic investigators were called in not only to identify the bodies, but also to determine the cause of the blaze. The warehouse, known as the Ghost Ship, was an artists' collective in which various artists lived and shared workspace. Federal investigators announced in late December that they had ruled out arson, but that electrical wiring could have caused the fire. The building also was said to have multiple building code violations. Forensic experts of a different type came to the aid of the Target Corporation in late 2013 when it was learned that Target databases had been hacked into and credit card data of some 70 to 110 million shoppers had been compromised. These experts dug through fire logs, web traffic logs, and emails to find the source of the problem. When the Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated upon re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere in 2003, and when a bomb was detonated in New York Times Square in 2010, these events were investigated by scientists representing various federal and state agencies. Likewise, when bombs disrupted the Boston Marathon in 2013, killing 3 and injuring more than 260 others, scientists examined the crime scene as well as the remnants and other materials. As all of these examples indicate, the term forensic refers to anything pertaining to or potentially pertaining to law, both criminal and civil. Forensic scientists participate in the investigation of major crimes, not necessarily violent ones, and are present at many accident scenes. Investigators of this sort almost invariably occur whenever there are unexpected and unexplained events that are not obvious natural disasters. In these contexts, scientists can perform numerous functions. They may be able to determine whether human factors, for example, sabotage, negligence, or terrorist activities, caused the tragedies. The information they provide can help in identifying those responsible. In the case of the Oakland fire, for example, scientists tried to determine not only its cause, but also whether there was indication that it had been deliberately set. They also worked to identify the remains of those who had perished. Now, in the case of cyber hacking, experts search for digital footprints to determine how hackers get in and how to prevent further breaches of security. Forensic science has become an all-encompassing professional activity and a popular career choice among students. Nearly every conceivable profession, including psychology, has a forensic specialization. Many people are confused about the various forensic areas and assume that professionals within these fields do largely the same thing. It will become clear to you guys within my series of lectures, however, that they do not. What they do have in common, in addition to their association of the law, is the fact that all of these fields are based on scientific principles. Although forensic psychology is the subject of this course, it is helpful to begin with illustrations of other forensic sciences for comparison purposes. In other words, it is important for students to know at the onset what forensic psychology is not. Examples of the forensic fields, in addition to forensic psychology, include forensic engineering, linguistics, forensic oceanology, forensic medicine, forensic digital investigation, forensic social work, forensic nursing, forensic pathology, forensic anthropology, and forensic archaeology. The focus of each discipline is evident from the terms. Forensic linguistics, for example, is concerned with the in-depth evaluation of language-related characteristics of text, such as grammar, syntax, spelling, vocabulary, and/or paraphrasing, either to profile an offender or to determine whether specific write-in samples are from the same person. Forensic laboratories are usually maintained or sponsored by governmental agencies, specifically to examine physical science in criminal and civil matters. In 2014, there were 409 publicly funded forensic crime labs in the United States. The scientists working in these laboratories are expected to prepare reports and provide courtroom testimony on the physical evidence if needed. Alternatively, private laboratories provide services to governmental agencies on a contractual basis or employ scientists who conduct independent research. Scientists from both public and private laboratories may be asked to examine and testify about latent fingerprints, hair fibers, firearms and ballistics, blood splatter, explosives and fire debris, toxic material, and other pertinent evidence found at or near a crime scene or traffic accident. Some forensic labs are better at investigating certain types of evidence than others, and the news media occasionally uncover deficiencies in labs, such as the misuse of DNA evidence or the failure to process rape kits in a timely manner. In criminal investigations, forensic scientists is used to determine the time since death or post-mortem interval, the location of the death, placement or movement of the body, and manner of death. Forensic entomology can also be applied to investigations of drug trafficking. Insects are sometimes found in drugs, and their identity can help in pinpointing where the drugs were produced or packed. In some cases, forensic scientists can establish from the DNA of body or head of a lice whether two individuals had contact with each other. As is apparent from the examples I just gave, forensic investigations usually require expertise in chemistry, biology, physics, or other sciences, including electronic technology. Although television, movies, and popular novels provide numerous graphic examples of forensic examinations of evidence, the extensive scientific preparation required to work in forensic laboratories is usually not emphasized. The scientists depicted typically have access to state-of-the-art equipment, and they are often glamorous or have complex emotional lives, a depiction that may be quite unrealistic. Many students express a keen interest in the forensic sciences and seriously consider pursuing a career in the field without fully understanding what it is or what is required to reach their goal. The field of forensic psychology involves a very different type of preparation and is significantly difficult in context, but it too requires considerable preparation. Nonetheless, there are many different avenues to enter in this field, as it will become apparent in my lectures. Forensic psychology refers to professional practice by any psychologist working within the subdiscipline of psychology. For example, clinical psychology, developmental psychology, social or cognitive psychology, when applying the scientific, technical, or specialized knowledge of psychology to the law to assist in addressing legal, contractual, and administrative matters. And for organizational purposes, forensic psychology is divided into 5 subspecialties. 1. Police and public safety psychology. 2. Legal psychology. 3. Psychology of crime and delinquency. 4. Victimology and victim services. And 5. Correctional psychology. Each of these subdivisions has both research and applied aspects, and psychologists conducting research in one area of forensic psychology may consult with or train practitioners in other areas. Finally, a forensic psychologist may operate in more than one of these subspecialties. And yes, I will be discussing in detail each subspecialty. Now, in my next lecture, we are going to cover a brief history of forensic psychology.